study as hard as I was doing before. Like the 50,000 hours I was doing a day in the 3 subject area. So I reduced some of that studying time.
Good. Good.
I reduced some of that studying time to subject a day. So no more than 3 subjects. And I have seen the results in reducing it. It seems like I have retained more when I do it that way versus when I was doing it before. It's like before I couldn't. It's like I was unable to figure out why am I not learning this. But now when I look at a question, I can almost see where they're coming from. You know, it's like an epiphany of some sort. I'm still not there yet, but I'm better than what I was before. So yeah, I've been at it.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that you've been doing the work. Any particular challenges that you're facing right now I could support you on?
Yeah, I'm still having difficulty. I create this log. I go back to high school. You have this like big old binder, and then you have these 5-section binder. So I sort of created that after having our discussions the last time, and logical reason section, the 3 sections. And every time I do a question, I would write down the question type, and then I would just go to the book and take the test. And then as I mark them off, I get wrong, I would check off, oh, this was a MS, mostly supported. And I've noticed doing that type of research in logical reasoning and in reading comp, of course, but in logical reasoning, I've been getting most of the necessary assumption, the required right assumption, must be true, and MSS, mostly strongly supported question type. Those have been my Achilles heel. And for some strange reason, sufficient assumption I've seemed to got a hold of, which is almost a parallel to, the must be true. And so, yeah, it's just floor question. I've been getting right recently within the last 2 weeks. I can almost see as soon as I read the stimulus, I said, oh, yeah, okay. I can see where we're going. Without reading the question, I say, oh, they're going to ask the floor or something like that. So I've been working on that. I've been keeping a journal of the type of questions, and then I try to, even if I get it wrong, I spend most of the time on the wrong question types, like the ones that I know is wrong, and see how they wrong, and how my answer is done. Right. So that has been working. For the reading comp, I do the same thing. I created some like little model in my head. It's a simple model, and believe it or not, it's been working for me. If it can't be proven, then it doesn't exist. So I don't answer the question if it can't be proven in the passage for reading comp. And since I started that model, I've been getting most of them right. Because before I was reading and looking for the details and trying to record all of this stuff. And when I get to the question, like half of what I've read, they didn't even ask me about. So now, while I'm doing the question, I do it on paper, of course. I would put the question number. So, for example, if I'm reading a passage and they ask me something about the author, I will put the number of that question and the answer right next to that paragraph. Real quick, just jot it down, right? Okay, paragraph 2, 6A, that's the answer. And then when it's time for me to look at the answer choice, two things I learned doing that method. One, if the question is wrong, but the location is right, that means I misinterpret the information. I convoluted it in myself, in my mind. Oh, I didn't understand the question. And 2, when I get the question right, it's usually right where I signed off at and said it was there. So that's why I created some little crazy model in my head and say, if it can't be proven, it doesn't exist.
That is not a crazy module at all. And the funny thing is that what's working for you there could be the exact same thing that works for you in logical reasoning
Mm,
with must be true and most strongly supported. The inference family
right.
has a lot of parallels with exactly what you're doing in reading comprehension. A necessary assumption is actually a very particular kind of must be true question because it is necessary. The difference there is that it's implicit, it's not going to be explicit. So that part might be a little different for you, but
Right.
there are definitely some parallels you might want to pull out.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the insight. Um, and for logic games, believe it or not, I started doing logic games, and I've taken the advice from watching the videos, of course, on your channel. And Ben said something very interesting. He said, I was doing it before. I was just doing every single game I could do and just kept it moving. And then I learned from those videos that just do the first two, get good at it, and then do the second two. So I spent like months doing just the first two and got good at it. And now when I do games 3 and 4, it's like it's easy. It's not a problem. And so I've learned. So now when I do the logic games, I do all 4 sections now, game 1 through game 4. I don't I don't struggle with as much. Now some of the games, of course, are giving me trouble, but it's almost like I'm welcoming it because now I can see the areas what they ask me. I mean, I can almost beg the question before they ask me on the logic game. So I've been spending, and I think that's because I reduce a lot of time doing the games. I pull back from it, let it, trying to settle in.
That's exactly it. Is that what's happening is that you're speeding up on the easier games, and that's giving you more time to handle the tougher games that come later.
Right,
So efficiency has a lot of benefits.
right, yeah, uh, it does. I and so I still, I was scheduled. I think the last time we talked, I think we said I was scheduled to take the test in August, but because that conversation I had then, I tell you, my performance, if I was just in my performance at that particular period, I couldn't envision that I would increase for the August. So, of course, with LSAC world, you only give you but a certain time to say yes. So, of course, my performance then on July 2nd wasn't what it is now. So I rescheduled for October because there's no way in the world I was going to feel comfortable with that the way I was. So I had rescheduled already for October. So if I can keep this performance up from now until October, I should not have to reschedule it again. But I only want to do this one time. So one and done deal. That's it.
You're doing all the right things here. You're putting in the work. I also want to call out just the level of review that you're putting in with the way that you talked about interpreting why something might have gone wrong. Was it a misinterpretation? Was it the location? That's exactly the kind of analysis you want to do for everything you get wrong and everything you have difficulty with. And you keep that up, I'm sure you'll be good by October.
Yeah, that's my goal date. But November's still sitting right around the corner. uh, yeah, I just wanna really, um, and the other question, in the game types, uh, of course, there's many game types, but the game that I do struggle on, is grouping, and it's grouping even when the setup is like they give you like maybe a few rules, like maybe 4 rules or 3 rules, and I have trouble with those few rules, even when they're clear, cut, and simple. And I've been trying to figure that out why I was struggling with those. Um, so I try to just do the setup and don't just make the inferences. And I notice I do the same thing for logic games as I do for the other 2 subjects. I would write down the question type. And if I got it wrong, then I will see, well, why did I get this wrong? And then some of my statements I would write, misinterpret rule 1. I would put down exactly what I thought. Like they said, most instead of less, and I put the numbers on the right side of instead of the left side. I would put that in detail. So I know when I see that type of question again, to not do it again. But when they sort of like, it's just the group and they give you 2 groups, but they really don't tell you, it doesn't have to really be in 1 and 2, doesn't really tell you that. So in my mind, I said, oh, group 2, because he can't be on this group. And then, and that's not what they asked for. They said, we don't care, pick a group, but, so.
Nice. Yeah, you're learning from your mistakes. You're learning from what went wrong before. You're learning what tricks and traps you were uniquely prone to falling for. And now from learning from your mistakes, you'll avoid making that same one next time.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Fantastic. Well, you're doing all the right things. Keep at it. And again, the key takeaway I want to leave you with from this conversation is what's working for you in reading comprehension. Look to apply that over for the most be true and most strongly supported in logical reasoning. I think that there's a lot of parallels to be gained from the insights to be gained from seeing those parallels.
Right. Okay. So I'm definitely going to apply that skill set over. Other than that, yeah, I'm still in it. I still got the time. I still got the time to study. And I'm going to stick with it until October date.
Awesome, Tony. Awesome, Tony. Keep at it. If you have any questions or need anything, reach out. I'm happy to help.
Right. Great. Thanks. I will. Definitely, I will.
Awesome. Definitely. All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.